Hi guys, it's Misty Eyez, and I'm here with an Ask Misty. Dear Misty, how do you know when you're in love? Ooh girl, that is a loaded question. First, I will start by saying that there is a huge difference between love and lust. Many times we see guys at the nightclub that we think we're in love with. We want to be in love with, and we desire. But that is lust. Love at first sight is not love. It is lust at first sight. So when you see that hot, sexy, whatever your type is, manly, feminine, whatever type, that's lust. How do you know when you're in love? You know, it's funny because I heard somebody say, I love you despite of your flaws. I love you even though you have that big scar. Or I love you despite of whatever. I never thought I would love a fat person. I never thought I would love a skinny person. I never thought. But when you really find out that you're in love with someone, you love them because of their flaws. And when you're attracted to someone, you fall in love with them, you love all of them. And I think you really know that you're in love with someone. I think you really know you're in love with someone when they're not with you and all you do is think about them. That could be a little lusty, but when you're in love. And if you ever saw, and this is an old memory, so forgive me if I get it a little wrong, but in high school, I was in a show called Fiddler on the Roof. And I remember this song resounded to me. But do you love me? And the man singing to the wife, but do you love me? And she goes, what are you talking about? I've bore your children for you. He's like, but do you love me? And she's like, I've washed your clothes for 27 years. And she's like, but do you love me? And it's a song. And she's like, I've washed your clothes. I don't remember. I can't remember the melody at all. Like literally, it was over 20 years ago. But the point of the story is she's answering, of course I love you. I've taken care of you. I've nurtured you. I've tolerated you. I've put up with your cantankerous, needy, sometimes angry, dirty, stinky stuff. And when we love someone, we take the good, we take the bad, we take the ugly. I'm not saying you deserve ugly. I'm not saying that at all. I do think that we deserve to be worshipped and we deserve to be empowered and we deserve to be lifted up by our partners. But I think a lot of times in LGBTQ relationships, specifically gay men relationships, a lot of times in gay men relationships, they have amazing sex. Whoa, this was the best sex I ever had. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this guy. If that's what your relationship is based on, I give it 3 months. The sex is going to fade. And if you're dating him because his abs or his legs or his body, guess what? That doesn't last very long either. He's not going to be the super hot boy he is now in 50, 60 years. It's just not going to happen. Will you still love him? Will you still want to be with him? If your relationships are based on more than physical, outward appearances and the desire to be with somebody sexually, and you want to grow old with someone, that's more the, I love you. I want to be with you. And I think my life and your life could be better because we're in it. I've talked a lot about my personal relationship on my channel. And when I first started dating my husband's epileptic. And if you've ever been around somebody that's epileptic, that's one of the scariest things in the world. And my husband's father lives in Washington, D.C., Maryland area. And after 2 weeks of dating my husband, he basically proposed. He literally gave me a ring, not this one, but a ring, and said, I think you should be my girlfriend. And I said, hell no, get out of my house. And he's like, please listen to me. I really think we get along. I really think we're doing good together. I really think that we complete each other. I really think, tell me all these things. But I was not looking for a relationship. I did not want a boyfriend. I had, I wanted career goals. I wanted to win Miss Continental. I wanted to be on RuPaul's Drag Race. I wanted facial feminization. I wanted vocal cord surgery. I wanted all these things before I could be the most beautiful, amazing, and sickening goddess that I was going to be, before I was distracted by someone else. Well, my husband felt rejected because I said no. And that night, or that day, he told his father, who lives in Washington, D.C., that he was dating a female who was assigned male at birth. I don't know what he was thinking. I guess he thought that if he came out as dating a trans person, he would prove to me how much he loved me if his family knew. So he called his father in Washington, D.C., Maryland area, Jersey, up there somewhere. He works in Washington, D.C., but I don't think he lives in D.C. And his father called me and said, "Misty?" And I said, "Yes." "This is John's father." "Okay. I am shocked and appalled my son would date somebody like you." Okay. But I have never seen my son smile. I've never seen my son post a picture on Facebook where he's smiling. I've been worried about my son for years. He does not seem happy. And for the first time ever, I'm seeing pictures in the last 2 weeks of my son posted on Facebook, happy and smiling. I don't know why you're in his life, but I thank God that you're in his life. Bitch, I started crying. But what's funny, and the reason I'm telling you this story, the next thing that came out of his mouth was, "But there's something you need to know." Okay. What? Drop the bomb. Okay, what? My son's epileptic. Oh, I know. What do you mean you know? Well, he's had 4 seizures in front of me. He's had 4 seizures. What did you do? Well, the first seizure he had, we were both sleeping. We were in bed, asleep, gone. And all of a sudden he wakes me up. I thought it was an earthquake. Alaska girl. Haven't been there in 20 plus years, but speaking of earthquakes, I just knocked over my phone. So, I hadn't been in Alaska for 20 plus years, but I thought we were having an earthquake. And in the middle of my night, I woke up and he was just trembling, shaking. It was the scariest thing I ever saw. And I started crying and I Googled quickly what to do during a seizure. Step number 1, turn them on their side so they don't choke on their tongue. Did that. Flipped them on his side. Number 2, look at the time. Okay. Got it. Number 3, if it has been more than 5 minutes, call an ambulance. If it has not been more than 5 minutes and he hit his head or shoulders or broke a bone or is bleeding or damaged their self on the way to the floor, call an ambulance. If they are not injured and it hasn't been over 5 minutes, do not call the police. Ambulance. 3 minutes goes by. Okay, we're good. He wakes up completely confused. Where am I? What happened? Why are you crying? The second 2 seizures, the second and third seizures he had in public, and I quickly put him on his floor and whatever. So I told his father, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've seen like 4 seizures already." And I explained to him what's going on, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, every girl that my son has ever dated has run the second they find out he's epileptic. I truly feel that you were put in my son's life for a reason." John was put in my life for a reason too. I think we complete each other. We are not alike in many, many ways. I hate the type of movies he watches. He hates the type of movies I watch and TV shows. Our music could not differ more. But both of us, we would give you the shirt off our back. We love people and we help people and we will give them our everything. My husband and I are very equally yoked and simpatico in our hearts. We are equally yoked in all of our tastes. But he's an amazing guy. So I say, how do you know you're in love? You're not going to know right away. It takes time. And then when they're gone, or the thought of them being gone, and that devastates you, not control, not, I'm single, I'm alone, but, oh God, I hope you come back. That's a sign of being in love. There are many signs of being in love. That's just my story. But thank you for your Ask Misty. Loving you is easy.